It's Wednesday night. It's 7 o'clock Central. Y'all know what time it is. Conversations with Cougars. And I know you guys recognize my guests. I'm so happy to have my classmates, my teammates, Ramona and Harry Stanley, Ramona Stanley Walker, Harry
Hello.
Stanley. So good to see y'all smiling faces tonight. Thank you for making some time tonight. How's everybody doing?
I'm great.
I'm doing great. Thank you for having us.
Oh, my pleasure. My pleasure. We finally are able to get you guys on together. Harry works is it the city of New Orleans or the state of Louisiana?
The state of Louisiana. I work
As
for the
a police officer. And Harry, everything you do, we sure owe you our gratitude. So thank you, sir.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
And Ramona, I have always loved your big smile, and it is so great to see it. I know you're in Dothan. I know you're a very busy person as well, but making some time tonight, both of you guys, it means a lot to me, and it means a lot to the folks who are going to be rolling in. So as they're rolling in tonight, I'll let you guys know who's there. We got our first one, Damon Glasgow. Thank you, Damon, for showing up tonight. We're going to have a big crowd, I know. And for those of you who don't know, these two are my classmates, class of 86.
86.
Harry ran track for 4 years. He was on the football team as well. We were on that undefeated 9th grade 1982 baby Cougars.
That's right.
Ramona was also, she cheered for 2 years, 3 years?
2 years.
Mm-hmm. And was also on the track team. And I want your both perspective, and we're going to get to it in a few minutes. I had Coach Griffin talk about this combat boot wear and training, and he didn't give me a good enough answer as to where that came from. But Harry, I saw you in as many days in cleats as I saw you in those combat boots. So you're going to have to come clean about that. Now, Ramona, I never saw you in those boots, but I suspect you had a little more sense. You had a little more sense. Plus, I don't think Miss Hemby was going to let you wear those to cheer practice.
I don't think they made them in my size back then. So
That's right. That's right. Well, Ramona, for folks who hadn't seen you in a while, catch folks up. Tell us about your beautiful family and what you do in Dothan.
Well, I work at FedEx part-time, and I work at Cheap Clothes, which is a clothing boutique. Mm-hmm. I have 3 adult children and 2 grandchildren. So that means Harry is getting old because I have 2 grandkids. That's right.
That's right. That's right.
Brooklyn is 7. That's my granddaughter, and my grandson is 13 months old. So, awesome. Yep, he just started walking, and his mother sent me a video, so I'm missing them. So
I bet. Now,
where have to take a trip down there soon.
Where do your children live?
They're in New Orleans.
Oh, okay.
They all went back to New Orleans. So
Harry, you keep an eye on all of them?
Yes, I am. I have one sitting right here beside me.
Awesome. That's so great. One of the things that I have always loved about the Stanley family is just that. It's family. And I know you guys have other siblings. And I cannot remember a time with our sporting events that I didn't see a group of Stanley family members doing something fun. Always laughter, always smiles. Speaking of smiles, Keith Rice says to tell you both hello.
Hi, Keith.
And number 74, Patrick Fitch, also says to tell you both hello.
That's my little brother there.
And he calls you big brother. Harry, catch folks up about your life in New Orleans. Tell us a little bit.
Okay. I work for the state of Louisiana State Police. I've been doing it for about policing about 17 years. I have 2 daughters. One is 27, one is 25. No grandkids. No grandkids. And hey, enjoying life. Travels as much as I can. And yeah.
Well, with children 27 and 25, that just makes you old.
That's right. That makes him
old.
old.
Ramona, it just makes Harry old.
That's right.
Yes.
But as we all can probably agree upon, you're only as old as you feel. And if you don't feel it and you're active, and I know you both are, it's just a number. It really is.
Just a number.
I feel it every morning I get up.
Well, I want to take you guys back to Girard Middle School.
Oh.
Let's go back. Let's go back.
Gerard.
Oh my God.
Now, in our years when we were at Gerard together, where did you guys live? What neighborhood? What street? Where'd you grow up?
Where did we live? Gerard.
We was at Gerard. We lived on Greenwood Street.
We were on Greenwood.
It was on Greenwood, and then we ended up moving
Westgate Village,
some apartments when we was at Gerard. And every day after football practice, I used to always leave with catfish and go to the neighborhood. I used to always get in trouble because I never was home on time.
Every night.
With catfish and Channing Branch, it always stayed in trouble.
The three of y'all were a thick group of friends, and Channing ended up at Open High, and of course Catfish came with us to Northview. Ramona, who were some of your buddies back in the middle school days?
Middle school, Amanda Kirkland. I think I hung out with Amanda more than anyone in middle school.
I know at some point, maybe in high school, you were buddies with Tammy Palmer. But was
Still am. Tammy Palmer, Janice Brown.
Were either of
Sonia
them at
McKenzie.
Gerard? Were they at Gerard or Honeysuckle or one of the other schools?
No, they were. I think Tammy and Sonia were at Beverly, and I'm not sure if Janice was at Beverly or if she just came out when we went to high school. Right, but we're all still pretty close.
Well, sports have always been central in both of your lives, whether it's cheer, track, football, whatever it may be. But where did you get your influence? We'll start with you, Ramona. What led you to cheer? What led you to run? Were there family members, siblings, parents, anybody in your family who you kind of looked after, or they kind of pushed you in that direction?
I don't think anyone really pushed me in that direction. One day I came home, we were at Gerard, and I said, "Mom, I think I want to try out for cheerleading." She said, "Okay." So the first time I tried out, I did not make it. So I said, "Mom, I didn't make it." She said, "Well, you can try it again." And then they did the basketball tryouts, and I tried out and I made it. So it was just something I was like, I think I may want to do it. Harry, he always ran, or you wouldn't know it as slow as he walked, but they always did some type of sports. And just one day I said, well, I guess I'll try and run track. But it was no one saying, you need to do this, or why don't you try this, or why don't you try that? My mother just let us make our mind up about any extracurricular activities that we wanted to participate in.
You so cracked me up just now when you said as slow as he walks. Because for those of you who weren't in school and saw Harry, he was one of the two fastest guys in the school. No question about it. But the man walked as slow as a slug.
He was slow.
He had no get up and go, no hurry about him until it meant something to him. Get him on the track and he's going to go. But get him to come to class or get to a meeting, my gosh. Tell me we're wrong, Harry. Tell me we're wrong.
You're not wrong, and I still walk slow. I still walk slow. I can't run as fast as I used to, but I still walk slow. I'm gonna give you a quick story. A few years back, I was pulling up at the house, and they had guys, they were about 14, 15 years old, and they was racing up and down my block. And so I'm looking at them run. I was like, oh, they running slow. I can go out there and beat them. So I bet them $20 a piece. And I went out there and ran against them. And I lost, of course. And I pulled a hamstring and a groin doing it.
I was just getting ready to say, I don't know how old you were at the time that you went on that race, but I would have put money on the youngsters. Now, Harry,
in my mind.
That's right. We think we can still do what we used to do, but time catches up. But Harry, the same question for you. What got you into sports? Was there athletes in the family that you took after? Did you see, I don't know, on TV? What was it? What was your influence about getting into any sports?
Well, our oldest brother, he loved baseball. So he used to play baseball a lot. He played football a couple of years when he was at Northview, first couple of years. And then he just
tell us his name.
Terrence Callaway. Terrence Calloway. Yeah, our oldest brother, and so he had a little influence between Jimmy McKenzie and Channing Branch, and we used to play basketball all the time. They pushed me to play sports. They pushed me to play sports.
Well, I need to post our 8th grade basketball team photo.
Oh man,
I've got it. I've got it somewhere on Facebook.
I saw that picture.
You can quickly tell who the players were and the guys who filled out the rest of the roster. And yours truly filled out the rest of the roster. I was a great cheerleader on the bench. I knew all the plays, and I'm just rooting for everybody, including Harry and Catfish and everybody else. But anyway, that was a long time ago.
that was a long time ago.
It was a long time ago.
And they had another guy that just played sports with, Morris Ward, food stamp.
Food stamp. Oh, he
Yes.
was, boy, he could hit you. And I got another one you forgot. Or you hadn't forgot, you just hadn't mentioned. Boom Coon.
Boom Coon.
Boom Coon.
Oh man. Well, he's a basketball player out of this world. Jesus Christ.
He was.
We used to be up late at night, and we'll go to a park, and it's 10, 11 o'clock at night, especially during the summer. We just out there playing basketball. The police will pull up and look and say, "Oh, y'all just playing basketball." And we'll stay out there midnight playing basketball and doing something.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you guys. You know, I grew up near Westgate Park. You know, everybody knows Westgate, all the fields and everything. And you really couldn't stay out that late there. But we'd play ball maybe in our driveways or in the cul-de-sac kind of late until somebody got mad because they'd hear the bouncing of the balls late at night. Where would you guys go and hang out? Like you're talking about playing ball in the park. Where would you go?
Montana Elementary. Montana Elementary. We would be at the basketball court all night long. And a guy, his name is Greg Boykins. He was a friend of ours, and he stayed right beside it. So we would be there, and if we needed water, we'd go right over to his house and get water and go right back. And but Montana Elementary.
And who were some of the other fellas who used to play ball with y'all back in the day at Montana?
Oh God.
Ramona, I bet you remember.
Oh Jesus, Bobby White.
I was Reggie White. Reggie White.
Who?
Reggie White.
Reggie White.
Reggie White.
Yeah, Reggie White. I love Reggie White. But yeah, Morris Ward, Reggie White, Catfish, Boom Coon used to be up there. Greg Boykins, Channing Branch used to be there.
Tell me how innocent those times were in your life.
Very innocent. I mean,
wasn't that the best?
It was the best. We didn't have to pay any bills. We didn't have any kids. We was just being kids.
Yeah,
being kids. The only thing my mom says, hey, look, you going to school, study, work hard at that, and you do whatever you want.
Now, Ramona, when Harry's out playing hoops with the boys late, when you're not asleep,
I was asleep. I was asleep.
Where would you hang out in the neighborhood, or whose house, or what were some fun things when you had downtime, when you were finished with your studies and didn't have other obligations?
I really didn't hang out. I stayed home a lot because my mother was ill, and for the most part, I just wanted to sleep. So I really didn't hang out a lot. Every now and then I would go by Amanda's house, but pretty much if it was hot, I was inside. If it was cold, I was inside. I really didn't hang out much.
Well, we've got some more folks who've rolled through. Norris Thomas says to tell you hello. And Shirley C says Harry did not want to get caught running in the halls. Good to see you both.
That is correct. That's correct.
Why he moves so slow. Yeah.
That is correct. All right. With your older brother being at Northview a few years ahead of you guys, had you been over to the campus? Had you been inside the gym or any of the the school properties before getting that preview day in 8th grade or when we came over as 9th graders?
No.
No, I haven't. I didn't.
Mm-mm. I know right before our first day, our freshman year, I called my oldest brother and I just about worried. Well, that summer I just about worried him half to death. Well, Peter, where do I go? Or Peter, what do I do? And he was like, Mom, you just go to school. I said, but I don't know where to go and I don't know what to do. He was like, Mom, she's driving me crazy. I just about drove insane. Well, where's the office?
Intimidating
How do I
coming
get to my
from
class?
Gerard, going to Northview. Right.
It was very intimidating.
Yes.
You know, in 8th grade, you're the king of the school. We had that whole bottom floor was ours. We went out, you know, we did all what we were the queens of the school. But then you come over to Northview and it's a gigantic campus.
Yes.
And if you got class at one end and got to be at the other in 5 minutes, stop by the locker, all of that transition takes a while. But Harry, you had football that you went to. So you automatically had a group, athletes, guys you were in middle school with or knew from the neighborhood or community. Correct. Ramona, had you already did you get into cheer or track or anything in 9th grade that kind of gave you a group that you could cling to, if you will, make it transition a little easier?
I didn't. I really didn't do anything as far as sports until our junior year. Our sophomore year, Coach Griffin let me tag along as a helper on the track. And then I said, okay, well, maybe I'll run track the next year. So my junior year, I participated in track, but my freshman year, I didn't do anything.
Just trying to get acclimated.
Exactly, because I was like, oh my God, all these people. Which way do I go?
I had been to the school before because when I think we was in the 8th grade, and Coach Griffin gonna kill me, but Coach Griffin was my Sunday school teacher at church. So growing up, he was the Sunday school teacher, and he knew how fast I was. So Coach Griffin would bring me along to the track meets. He'll throw me in the Northview uniform and say, you running the relays. And I'm out there running relays. And in the 7th, 8th grade, I'm running high school track. And it gave me a lot of experience in running track, though.
Oh, I know that it did. It's kind of like a few years before us, Doug Jones, as a 7th and 8th grader, was coming over to Northview playing Northview varsity football.
Right.
Speaking of varsity football, a really good friend back in the day and even now, Mark Saffold says.
Mark Saffold. All right. Hey, Mark, what's happening?
Now, Harry, let's talk a little bit about track. Let's talk a little bit about football. I know you did both, but I had a sense that really track was really more your sport or more your love, but I could be wrong. But talk, you know, that 9th grade year, we had a really good season, that first 9th grade football season, and you played wide receiver and you must have had a zillion yards. We killed everybody. Right. But with you, with your experience with track, did you ever think, even as far back as 9th grade, that maybe track was going to be in your future in college, or had you not gotten to that point just yet?
I hadn't gotten to that point just yet. Track was my first love, and I love football. And but I never thought I would go. I knew I would go to college running track, but far as professional, they didn't pay any money. You had to find sponsors. It was just so hard. After college, I tried, but you had to have sponsors, and if you don't have a whole bunch of money, you're in trouble.
Well, Ramona, let me ask you, and I don't mean to flip back and forth, but I got so many things I want to talk to you guys about. Ramona, let's talk about school for a minute. Actual class, teachers, subjects. I still remember my 9th grade homeroom teacher was Mrs. Van Landingham. And I'm trying to get her, she was in the math department, and I'm trying to get her on this show Do you guys remember who your homeroom teacher was in ninth grade? Gotcha.
No.
Well, while you're thinking of that, to me, we had so many awesome teachers during our years there. I could list a bunch of them.
Yes.
Did you guys have any favorite subjects or teachers that really made an impression on you then or even after graduation?
I can name a few. Miss Ramona Cleveland, Miss Jernigan,
Oh, yeah.
Miss Cotton, and Mr. Hall.
History teacher.
History teacher.
All right. Harry, any classes that or teachers that stuck out?
Well, I loved all my math teachers because I love math. But Coach Griffin, Miss Cleveland, Miss McLeod.
Miss McLeod.
Even after college, it was, she used to tell me all the time, you're gonna need to know this, you're gonna need to know this. And she said, you're gonna need to know this. So my first semester in college, I went right back to Northview. I was like, you was right, I should have listened to you.
Was Miss McLeod, was she in the English department?
She was in the English department.
Miss McLeod.
Yeah. I remember her now, I sure do.
Yeah,
Now, one of the crazy things was where our lockers, the way they were situated during our years. After we graduated, they took them out of that main space and just wrapped them around the school like you see in most schools. I always thought it was the craziest thing to have them stacked the way they did, because everybody's trying to cram in there in such a small place, small space. I rarely kept anything in it just because you couldn't get to it.
Right.
But I don't remember having backpacks. I just remember carrying them.
Back,
I'm thinking,
I didn't have a backpack.
what was I thinking? But we didn't have many people.
Did they even make backpacks then?
They were probably old army satchels or something, maybe something that your mom had in the bottom of the closet you might have grabbed. But I just don't remember having backpacks like the kids do now. But heck, they don't even, I mean, most of their books are even online now. They don't even have physical books for the most part.
High school.
Yeah. Well, let's talk a little bit about football. Ramona, did you grow up liking watching, playing, participating with football, or was that just not even on your radar?
Wasn't on my radar.
Well, what were some of your, tell us away from sports, what were some of your interests? What things kept you, I guess, busy or from a hobby standpoint? Did you have anything in high school?
Besides sleeping, I used to crochet.
Did you really? Awesome.
Believe it or not, I used to crochet. I've made quite a few blankets before we graduated from high school. Not so many since. And pretty much that was it. I was just kind of a homebody. Stayed home. I would like to watch action movies or shows, and pretty much that was it. Kind of boring. I didn't do much.
You did. Now, but Harry, before I get to you, we got some awesome. Joseph Johnson is watching with us. Tim Bright. Hey, Tim. Thanks for joining in.
Tim.
And number 2, Chris Holmes.
Chris Holmes.
Guys, I'm talking with Ramona Stanley Walker and Harry Stanley, of course. And I will tell you this. I can't tell you how many people assumed that you guys were twins when we were growing up.
No, I'm gonna tell you the story behind it.
Okay, let's hear this.
I was in the 6th grade. Ramona was in the 5th grade. And I just didn't do anything. She caught up with me. And I said, oh, you can catch me, but you're not gonna pass me. So, that's how we ended up. No, we're not twins though. We're 13 months and 6 days apart.
Just to set the record straight, Ramona caught up with Harry.
Can you believe that? Well, you know, he moved so slow.
I was walking.
That's right. That's right. But when he
should have
needed,
been running.
but when he needed to move fast, he did. He sure did.
Yes.
Well, Harry, what was it about track that you so enjoyed? Clearly, you had God's gifts, you had the physical tools, but that's not all that's required in any sport. There's a lot of mental that goes into track and other sports as well. But what is it that you liked about track? What were your specialty races? Talk to us a little bit about your experience, because after high school, in case you guys didn't know, Harry went on to Southern University and ran in college for 4 years.
Correct. That is correct. Track, I was good at it, of course, so that kind of drew me into it. When I ran AAU track one year, and the coach actually put me in a different age bracket with faster guys, and I was beating them. So by the time we got to the Junior Olympics, they said, "Well, you're in the wrong age bracket." And they had some other guy running in my spot, and there was a whole bunch of stuff, but I was pretty good at it. 100, not so much the 100. I was fast, I was quick, but the 200, and once I got to Coach Griffin, I think around about our sophomore year, junior year, beginning of it, he had me running a quarter mile while I was on the mile relay. And once I reached college, the quarter mile was my race, and the 200. Now I will run the 100, and but I realized once I got to college, there's a lot of fast guys out there. There was a lot. Yeah. So, but I held my own, and I tried. But loved the sport because I guess I was winning at it at the time, and I really didn't give it too much of a thought, and just enjoyed running. Period. Just enjoyed it.
Share a little bit about the mental makeup, the mindset for running the quarter mile, the 200, or any of those races. What is it that you needed to be successful? Not just your physical gifts, but the mental makeup.
Well, the mental makeup is, I mean, you're looking at, we used to see some of the same people every week, and we knew who was fast, who wasn't. And then you're looking at them and you're saying, hold on, are they gonna have a bad day today? Or are they gonna have a good day today? And it's going through your mind that I need to have a good day, to beat this guy. And I remember our freshman year, I think in 100 meters in the state, I came in third. And man, I was mad. Sean Smith, Opelika.
Oh yeah.
He came in first. And guy, I don't know if it was Robert E. Lee, guy that was running back with Robert E. Lee. He came in second.
Larry Ware?
Larry Ware.
Well, you got your revenge 4 years later with both of those guys.
Yes, I did. Yes, I did. And look, the very next year, I got my revenge for both of them too. But after that, they didn't beat me after that. I made up my mind that they weren't going to beat me anymore after that.
Awesome.
And it was hard for Sean Smith to beat me. He was mad every time he saw me. He got mad.
Well, Sean went on to be a parade All-America at Opelika and ended up playing at Auburn. Larry Ware, of course, was Mr. Football in 1986. He was a year behind us, but he went on to have a good career at Georgia. Ramona, my question for you is, how did you keep Harry grounded? How did you keep him from having the big head in the house?
You know what? Harry never had a big head. He just easygoing, nothing really ruffled his feathers. Once I remember my mother asking him, "Do you ever get upset? Do you ever get in a hurry?" He said, "Yeah, sure." He said, "I just don't run around screaming and hollering like Peter and Mona." So you never knew if he was in a rush or not. So she asked him one day, "Do you ever get in a hurry?" He said, "Yeah, sure." And he even did that slow.
But you know the way you just described Harry's temperament, Harry's mental makeup, I think that has to be part of success. The formula for success for an athlete. You have to have some quiet confidence to know that it doesn't matter who my opponent is next to me in these lanes. I'm gonna do me, and that's gonna be good enough. And keeping on that emotional even keel, not too high, not too low. I think that slows your heartbeat, so to speak, your mindset, that you can appreciate the moment so the moment's not too big for you. As a different note, on a different note, with the Super Bowl this weekend, I bet that's one of the things that's going to separate the team that wins from the team that doesn't. Is the moment too big? And Harry, that's one of the things about being an athlete I always appreciated about you. One, I love the fact that you always had a smile, always laughing, as you did as well, Ramona. But your personalities are so different. Ramona, you got this awesome big personality and lots of fun, and I always have loved that. And Harry's just kind of low key. He's there, he's appreciating it, but and I bet that made for an interesting household at times for your mom and the family, because, and I mean no disrespect, you could hear Ramona coming before you saw her, and Harry would sneak up on you and be in the room, and you're like, whoa, where'd he come from?
Right.
That's correct.
That is correct. That's correct.
She was after our mother passed, I guess she became my mother, because it was like, where are you going? What are you doing? You can't go over here. You can't do that. You can't do this. So it was she was a mother before she was a mother. So she raised me and our little brother. So you know,
if it's okay for me to ask, what year or when did your mom pass?
July 9th, 1983.
Wow, we were still in high school. We were young in high school.
We had just finished our freshman year.
Wow.
Yep.
So you really did step into an adult role pretty quickly, Ramona.
Real fast. I mean, our mother knew she was sick. She knew, and she just taught us a lot of things. And this is what you need to do as an adult. And it was kind of frustrating at first, you know. And after she passed, we started school, and man, I almost got in trouble just doing crazy stuff. And I said, you know what, this is not the path I need to go down. And I tried to play basketball our sophomore year. And Coach Tribb said, come on the team. Yeah, to keep you out of trouble. Come on, sit on the team. So I get on the basketball team. He never put me in the game. I never played. I said, oh no, man, come on, you at least got to put me in the game. We blowing them out. You won't even put me in the game. Yeah. So, I mean, but they had some good athletes on the team. I mean, you talking Lawrence Dorsey, Mark Reeves on the JV team. And you know, you got guys like that that's out there that's jumping out the stadium, out the gym. I couldn't compete with them, not in basketball, but I tried.
You know, Harry, you had the exact opposite experience I did. After our 9th grade year of playing basketball, Coach Tribb, Coach Johnson, and Coach Parrish sat me down and said, we think you need to rest in between football and baseball.
Oh my.
That essentially retired my basketball career, which I think many appreciated. But guys, I'm talking with Harry Stanley, Ramona Stanley Walker, and I want to ask you guys, your mom passed in the summer of '83. We're headed into 10th grade at that time. Was there a moment, and I'll ask you first, Ramona, was there a moment that it really showed to you at this time that you really had to step up and be more of an adult quicker than really your childhood you ever anticipated?
Not really, because I think I was born bossy. So I kind of always bossed them around, whether they listened or not.
Right.
I still boss them around. They still don't listen. I think that my sophomore year, it was like an out of body experience, if that makes any sense.
No,
I was walking around, I was going through the motions, but it was like I was outside watching me do this. Mm-hmm. So I was just kind of in a daze. Things got better my junior year, so forth and so on. But that was a tough year.
Well, as I'm sure that it was for both of you guys and everybody in the family, but a year later, you try out for cheerleader and make the squad. So that makes you even busier.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, Ramona, if you were looking to be as busy as you could be, so you didn't have downtime to think about a lot of things, but clearly being on that cheer squad those last 2 years, that had to have kept you very busy during the season, trying to do books, schoolwork and everything else.
It did. I don't know. It's just like I said, that sophomore year, it was just a tough year. I was in a fog, and it was like a year later, it was like, okay, the sun is shining. Hey, let's try this, or let's do this. It was like I snapped out of it. So cheering did keep me busy. Track kept me busy. By that time, my grandmother would let me drive a little bit, drive the car a little bit. So I was able to go to a basketball game and maybe to the McDonald's on Main Street afterwards or something like that. But so.
And Harry, what about you? For any teenager who has to go through that, there's a real transition. And you alluded to it a minute ago that it took a while.
Yeah, it took a while. I mean, we had our grandmother around, but she was up in age, trying to raise 4 kids, and our older was in college. And it was pretty tough to sit there and say, okay, you're the oldest one in the house and you're the man of the house now. So, and you have to step up and in the responsibilities. And it was troubling at first, the first year, just hanging out. And at the time, I can leave when I want, come in the house when I want, and nobody. Ramona was watching, but she wasn't sleeping. But just out there, just hanging out late and not doing what I was supposed to do. Almost going to jail. And
you almost go to jail?
No. It was
almost.
A situation.
He said almost. Now, Harry,
almost.
What about the coaches? What input did you have from Griffin, Parrish, or any of those coaches?
They knew what happened, and they were all the coaches were and they always had something positive to tell me, to keep my head up and keep moving and keep me motivated. And Coach Parrish, Coach Griffin, Coach Johnson, all the coaches. So and I appreciate that, because without that, and even the guys on the football team and that I ran track with, and just people that's in school generally that didn't play any sports that I knew, they kind of kept me motivated, kind of kept my mind off of it, and a little bit.
Sure. Well, guys, we got a few folks. Tora Gardner is watching. Coach Randy Hicks is watching.
Coach Hicks.
And Carrie Johnson Kurlander says to tell you both hello. Big hugs. And she says y'all were both very special folks to her back in the day. And
Carrie's one of our Gerard classmates.
That's right. Ramona, let's talk about cheer. Miss Hemby, all those cheer mates. Why cheer? Why'd you like it? Were the parts you didn't like? What was fun about it?
I don't know if it was anything that I didn't like. I mean, I don't know. I just like the cheer. Well, my mouth is, my voice carries. Let me put it like that. And I mean, I just like.
We lost her. She'll come back in. But while we're waiting on Ramona to come back in, Chris Holmes says something. He says your mother was such an awesome person with a sweet spirit. Yes, Coach Hicks says, hello, guys. Looking good.
Hey, Coach Hicks.
While we're waiting on Ramona to come back in, Harry, let's talk about football. You played wide receiver as a freshman. Ultimately, you transitioned on the defense. But talk about a little bit of your experiences playing on the team.
Okay, our ninth grade year, of course, our ninth grade year was our ninth grade year. And everybody was down in the Dust Bowl looking, saying, when are we going up there? When are we going to get up there? And so when we finally get up there, actually, myself and Chris, we were starting wide receivers our sophomore year. We were starting, we got playing time, and we were in there, we were happy. And I tell you what, those guys was delivering some licks out there, man. Almost had me scared to go on the field one day. We were playing Prattville, Prattville, and the tight end went out for a pass, and the safety went.
Jeff Coleman.
Jeff Coleman.
Jeff Coleman.
Yes. And the next thing you know, Coach Paris said, "Harry, get in the game." I was like, I don't want to go.
I don't need that. I don't need that.
We had much fun, and got a chance to play with Leo Butler, and he used to throw that ball so hard. Oh my God! And when it was cold, it felt like he was catching a cinder block. Used to throw the ball hard too now. So, but
not as hard as Leo. He had a cannon.
Oh, he can throw, but it was a good experience. Love playing, and I think our junior year at August, we went into the junior year and we was practicing. It was first team against first team, and I was playing running back, and I think it was a quick pitch or something like that. He gave me a quick pitch, and somebody didn't pull on the play, and they missed their assignment. And it was me and Butch Henderson one-on-one. And I tried to go around him and stiff on him, and he just grabbed and held on to me and fell down, and boop, shoulder come out of place.
Yeah.
And after that, they just couldn't stop. It just couldn't stop coming out of place. It was just back to back. They go back in. I wait a couple of weeks, get back out there and play, and happens again. And it just happened. It just kept happening. And actually, when I got to college, ended up coming out of place twice in college. So in '88, I said, it's time to have surgery. So I had surgery on it, put a pin in it, and never came out after that. So I think I had like 9 separations.
Wow. I was going to ask you if it impacted your track career, but now can you feel when the weather's coming in?
Oh yeah, it's hurting right. It is hurting right now, and I actually went to the doctor, and they said it may be time for it to take it out. So,
wow.
Yeah.
Well, we certainly hope you the best for that, and hopefully it's not too much complications. I know Ramona's, she's got some Zoom issues. She'll be back with us in a minute. But let's stick with the football, and let's take it through the end of high school. And at some point, I want to say you ended up playing on some defense. But tell me a little bit, remind me about that. Or was it special teams I'm thinking of?
Well, I was always on the kickoff return team, and the hands team, of course, when they try to do onside kicks. No. Well, I always wanted to play defense, always. So I used to beg Coach Griffin, I want to play corner, I want to play safety. Let me play. So he did. No. We're not gonna let you play. So one game, I think we were playing Dothan High. They told me to go in and take Trojan out the game. Lonnie Mathis.
Wow.
I replaced. I didn't know I was going. I know I was taking him out, but I didn't think I was going to play nose guard. So they stuck me in that nose guard, and I shot through the gap. I tackled Dennis, but right where they tackled him, Dennis, Cassie Butler comes out of nowhere. He hits me in the back. I fall on Dennis. We fall to the ground, and I turn around. And I was like, Cassie, why you hitting me? I'm not running the ball. You need to hit him. He was like, let's play defense. So right after that, I said, I don't want to play defense. So I started running out of the game. They said, no, stay in the game. I was like, I don't want to.
Oh, but, that's awesome. Cassie would tackle anything that needed to be tackled. That's for sure.
He would. And David Hogan is still mad at me, when we won the state championship. I mean, the city championship at Girard.
Why is he so mad at you?
Well, he's still mad at me.
Yeah.
I caught the interception and ran it back for the touchdown. We was playing Beverly. We won the city championship.
Yeah.
Well, Dennis Tillman, David Hogan was on that team. And
I didn't appreciate that.
Yeah.
I knew that Hogan was on that team. I didn't realize. I don't know why I thought Tillman went to Carver, but yeah.
No, he was at Beverly. He was at Beverly.
Wow, that's why I have these conversations, because I want to know everybody's memories and experiences.
I saw Dennis probably about a year or so ago, and him and I sat and talked, and man, he was still mad.
He's been on this show. I had him on the show several months ago.
I went back and saw the replay of it. Yes, I did.
And his son, Caleb, who went to Northview and played at Louisville, was also on the show a different time. Ramona, now that you're back with us.
No, I'm sorry.
That's it. No worries. No worries. It's a live show. Let's talk about cheer and the fun that you had and Miss Hemby's influence and good stuff like that.
I had a lot of fun. I really enjoyed when we would go to camp. We would go to Auburn, and Carrie would always be my roommate. So we had lots and lots of fun. We practiced hard, we practiced long, but it was good. It was good workout, time spent with great people, and I just enjoyed myself a lot.
That's good. What about, and you cheered for football junior and senior years?
Yes.
Well, let's talk about our senior year. You know, everybody says their class is the greatest class ever.
Well, they know the class of '86 was the greatest class
this
ever.
show, as far as this show is concerned, the class of '86.
That's right. The class of '86. Always. State champs. Always.
Right. Now, I love hearing the stories of the state championship week, the day of the game, post game, and all of that, because everybody's experience is different. Had either of y'all visited Legion Field other than that Tuesday when we had a practice, Harry? Had you ever been to Legion Field before the game that Saturday?
I hadn't.
No, I haven't. No.
I didn't know if track had brought you up to Birmingham or you had gone to any other games at Legion Field before that.
I don't think we ever
didn't run
that far. We Montgomery, down to Florida, over in Georgia. We would go, but no, I never been. No,
we didn't go to Birmingham for track.
Yeah, I didn't think. I usually thought that maybe Montgomery was like the northern part of the southern half of the state when it came to competitions. We want to welcome Sammy Floyd is watching with us this evening.
What's up, Sammy?
Now, guys, when we went to the state championship game, there were 150,000 people in the stadium. We beat them by 900 points. It was anyway.
That's right.
You know, everybody's memory is a little bit different. Harry, what do you remember from that day, other than obviously the score and that we won?
It was cold.
It was cold.
It was cold. It was freezing that day. Yeah, of course I didn't play. My shoulder was my shoulder was done. I was done for the season, but it was real cold. Enjoyed it. Believe it or not, all the guys, our rivalry, Dothan High, all those guys was rooting for us to win.
The fact that they all came up, I think, spoke volumes.
A lot of them came up and they were rooting for us to win.
Yeah.
And it was a good day. It was a great day, great feeling.
It wasn't a great day until Aristotle did what he did.
Aristotle, yes.
But before Aristotle took off 91 yards, Bobby Estes is the one who blew up the play. It was an option, and he hit the guy, and the quarterback fumbled, and then all you could see was number 8 just all the way down the field.
I want to say
either Mike Henry or Derek Flowers escorted him the entire way. I can't remember which of the fellas it was. But Ramona, what do you remember about that day, other than it was cold?
It was freezing cold for me.
Yeah.
I remember my grandmother came to the game. She came up with Chris's parents. I remember that. And I just remember just keep going over this song that we played, just But when Arrow stopped, it was ugly. It was ugly for us before Aristotle made that touchdown, because it wasn't looking good for the home team.
No, it wasn't. But and
after that, it was all over. It was all over after that. We were in it.
But our season was so tight, almost every game, all those overtimes. But being from behind and trying to catch up was just kind of what we did. But then in the second quarter, we caught fire. David Hogan caught a bunch of touchdowns, and we were up big at half.
Right.
But, there's so many vivid memories from that day that the score is the score. We won, of course. But what's even better about that day is being able to share it with all your friends. And the post-game celebration, going to Morrison's cafeteria, then coming home. Do you remember going to the school on the bus and unloading at the school, and there being so many people there? Ramona, you were probably asleep by then, but
we didn't ride a bus. Let me see. I think Miss Hemi and those rented a camper. And we went up in a camper. And we came back, and I remember stopping at Arby's. I don't like Arby's, but we stopped at Arby's. And so when we got back, I don't know if we got back before you all or after you all, but it was nobody at the school when we got back.
Oh, you must have been real early. But guys, we've got a few more minutes, but I want to go beyond high school. That was our senior year. That was the first semester. Then our spring semester begins. And I know well before this, you guys had been thinking about life after high school. Harry, you ended up in New Orleans at Southern. Ramona, I know you went to Wallace. Before that, before you made those decisions, had you been thinking about either college or working or both after high school, or had you not quite gotten to that point yet?
Well, I had thought about it. I just didn't know what I wanted to do or where I was going to go, or if I leave, who's going to help my grandparents. All that was running through my head. So in the end, since I didn't know what I was going to do or what I wanted to do, I just stayed here, got a job. I went to Wallace, and I helped my grandparents until I got married and moved away.
And you ended up moving to New Orleans?
I moved to New Orleans. And how long did I stay in New Orleans? I'm not quite sure how long I was in New Orleans before my ex-husband's job transferred us to Little Rock, Arkansas.
Oh, wow.
Yes. And I stayed in Little Rock for about a year. And then he got transferred to Memphis, Tennessee.
Okay.
I lived in Memphis for about 2 years, and then we moved back to New Orleans.
Wow. And Harry, have you been in New Orleans the whole time?
The whole time I've been in New Orleans. There's something about this city. It just sucks you in, and because I was planning on leaving after 4 or 5 years of being here, but it's something about this city that just sucks you in, man.
Now, were either or both of y'all living in New Orleans when Katrina hit?
Yes.
Yes, we were. I got to Dothan the morning that the storm hit. Of course, I was sleeping, and Harry came foot of the stairs, and he said, "Hey, which way are you going?" I said, "Go west." He said, "No, go home." I said, "Huh?" He said, "Go home." I said, "Go home." He said, "Go to Dothan." And believe it or not, I listened to him. So my oldest son, he kept coming to the stairs to say, "Ma, when we leaving?" I said, "Boy, you got to give me 30 minutes. I need a nap." And finally he came and he said, "Ma, my daddy said we're going to die if you don't leave soon." So I said, "Let's go. So we just got some stuff and we got in the car, never thinking that, hey, you're not going back, you know?
Yeah.
Never thinking that the city was going to be underwater. I just told him, I said, just get something. Let's go. You know, I'm thinking, okay, we'll be back in a little while. So we came to Dothan. And of course, it ended up being a lot worse than what we thought.
Yeah.
So we ended up staying.
Wow.
Kids didn't want to stay, but they mama did. So as soon as they got a chance, they went back, and there they are.
And Harry, you stayed. You never left.
I stayed, never left. I had to work. I was here. I was a police officer, and
where was your precinct at the time? What was your area of town?
At that time, I was working for Housing Authority of New Orleans Police Department.
Oh my!
So I worked in all the housing projects, and when it hit, me and another guy that worked with me, we was trying to get a lot of people out that we knew from the development and stuff like that. I didn't have any worries after that. Ramona was gone, her kids are gone, my kids were gone. Hey, yeah, I was the only one there, so I said I'm good. So
you're not worried about everybody else, but everybody else is worried about you.
Right. Exactly. I wasn't worried. So I said, push come to shove, I know how to get home. I can get home. So
wow. Well, even more so, again, right here, Harry, for all that you have endured. And we've got DC Clark, Douglas Clark says to tell y'all both hello.
Lauren. I stayed in a whole bunch of trouble messing around with him. I'm gonna just tell you.
Well, just so you both know, I think the statute of limitations is expired, so y'all should be good. I want to welcome Laura Sermon Hatcher. Guys, I'm talking with Harry Stanley, Ramona Stanley Walker. We're having just a run through memory lane.
Yes.
We got just a couple more minutes. Ramona, what makes you happy these days? What's good for you?
Sleep. Lots of it because I have to be at work tomorrow at 4 a.m.
Yeah,
so yeah, it's still sleep for me.
Well, I suspect we're cutting into your sleep, so I'm not going to keep you too long. Harry, what about you? What makes you happy these days? What gives you some contentment?
Hey, when I'm on a golf course, and when I'm on a golf course and my pellet smoker.
Oh yeah, I like that thing.
See,
I like your pellet smoker. I like that.
Well, yeah, that's what keeps me going.
That's so great. I got a closing question and comments for both of you guys, if you will. Growing up in Dothan in the 80s, it's easy to say this now that we're getting older. It was much simpler time for childhood. We didn't have the internet. We didn't have cell phones. We didn't have all that stuff. Harry, you're playing ball at the school all the time. Ramona, you're doing your thing. Now the kids have the phones and they're so connected, and it's a world of instant gratification. And I'm not blanket stating that's for every child, of course not, but it's too easy to fall into that.
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
Harry, what do you suggest? What do you say to your nephews, nieces, anybody who will listen to you from the younger generation about how to, I guess, cope with that? Because sometimes that can be very stressful when you're always in your phone and worried about what all's going on outside of your world.
Right. Well, my kids, and I probably can speak for Ramona's too, my kids, hey, look, you're not getting a cell phone. You're going to go outside and play. You're going to go, and things that I did, you're going outside, you're going to play, no cell phones. I mean, they didn't get a cell phone till they became adults. So they're not really into their cell phones. And I know it's nowadays technology is kind of running the world, and everybody needs to be glued to their phone or a computer or a tablet or something. But I think it's really bad. And I think kids just need to go out and have fun and let them be kids. Let their imagination run wild and think of things and try to figure out how this work and that work, like we did growing up,
Yeah, you're going to make your mistakes, but that's part of childhood. But if
Correct.
we stay connected, Ramona, what about you? Can you add anything on to what Harry said?
Well, my daughter had a cell phone at I think she might have been 14 or 15, but she was only allowed to take it and use it if she was going off somewhere. So when she was home, she had to be engaged with the rest of us. And I tell her, she was telling me, Ma, Brooklyn needs a cell phone. I said, no, she don't. She's 7. What is a 7-year-old gonna do with a cell phone?
So she can call me.
But now, look, she will call grandma. She'll call grandma from her mom's phone. When her mom go to sleep, she said, Grandma,
Awesome.
you can't talk too loud because my mama asleep.
That's so awesome.
But for the most part, I tell them, I say, take the cell phones, take the tablets, and just let her play. Let her play. And Brooklyn's not into a cell phone or anything like that. She could care less. But yeah, they need to take them and let them play. Let them be kids.
Last question for you both. I promise I'll get you out of here. I know Ramona's got to go sleep. Ramona, what gives you, I guess, the most joy or puts a smile on your face about your time being at Northview or being a Northview graduate?
Our classmates, the people, the teachers, everyone was just, engaged with one another, friendly. Not just at Northview, but at Dothan High. I was telling someone, I said, these kids don't know one another because when they start school, if they're in elementary school with them, they go to middle school with them, they go to high school. I said, but with us, the way they cut the school line, we knew everybody at each school. So if someone from Dothan High was throwing a party, everybody at Northview was at the party, and vice versa. I said, so it wasn't like any real beefing, as what the kids would call it now, because we knew one another. And we all hung out together. So that's what I enjoyed most about high school, our high school days, was that everybody knew everybody and we really all got along.
Harry, what about you? I just piggyback off what Ramona said. Channing Branch was at Girard with us, and he ended up going to Dothan High. He didn't know anybody at Dothan High. So he made friends over because all his friends went to Northview. Yeah, and he kind of got cut out of the zone because they rezoned, and he was 1 block away from the zone, so he had to go to Dothan High. So all those guys that played on the football team and basketball team would go by Chan House. And me and Catfish will be right there by Chan House. So we got to meet all those guys, the ones we didn't know from Girard.
Right.
And we all became friends. And till this day, we're still friends. And that's one of the, like Ramona said, we all kind of knew each other and we all got along with each other. And it was great. It was great times.
Speaking of great times, guys, thank you so much for spending some time with me tonight. This has been a lot of fun.
It has. You're welcome.
And guys, this is why I do these programs on Wednesday nights. These conversations with Cougars takes me back to a time and place, particularly when some of my classmates. But even though we may have had Cougars who played in the 70s or the 2000s or even 2-3 years ago, we all have a lot of commonalities. We didn't even get to talk about Rip Hughes Stadium. We didn't get a chance to talk about the pep rallies and Mr. Smith doing his thing.
Yes.
Right.
Maybe we'll have round 2, or maybe I'll bring back the class of '86 one night. But guys, thank you again for spending some time with me. I truly have enjoyed our conversation tonight.
Thanks for having us, Bernard.
Yes, thank you.
Absolutely my pleasure. You guys keep coming back on Wednesday nights at 7 o'clock. Continue to be safe out there. Y'all be well. We'll catch you next week.
Bye-bye.